Hi Leo, welcome to your mid-June 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So Leo, I made a concerted effort to post one of your videos early because I realized that in recent months I have done yours last for whatever reason. So I wanted to kind of make things right by you so you don't get the wrong idea about me. The heart of the matter is the King of Wands, and I was going to say as soon as I picked this card, well, there's Leo on the throne. Wands connect with fire energy, and of course you are a fire sign. I don't know if this card is specifically connected to Leo, you know, a specific fire sign or not. Most of the minor arcana do seem to be attributed to one. Well, I don't know if it would be one sign or one planet in a sign. The King of Wands, to me, represents the ultimate sense of self-mastery. Fire energy is very creative and, you know, like self-expressive and autonomous. There is a sense with fire energy of the person who really knows who they are. And so they don't really require support from other people, especially with the king being like the top of the heap, or, you know, the top of the food chain. I'm just talking about in terms of like the rank, if you will. So to me, it's like the ultimate expression of the wands. And, you know, we could just talk about, if we were talking about like civilians, people that are not royalty, we would be talking about somebody who might be an entrepreneur or the head of a company. They work for themselves sometimes, or the head of a company where they have people under them and things like that. But whatever it is, this is this feeling of a self-actualized person. And so I don't know if this is a new feeling. I mean, this is how fire energy should feel anyway, but, you know, of course, we're all evolving, so some people are kind of at stages where they don't feel that yet. So let's just boil it down to a feeling of self-empowerment. And in the past position, we have the Ace of Swords, which can be a new beginning when you cut through all the crap and you see things as they really are. So it's almost like whatever's going on in your life, and this could be like in your private life, it could be, you know, you find out that your partner is cheating, and then that actually is self-empowering because all the things that you kind of suspected, maybe you even told them that you felt that they were cheating and they denied it, and then you confirmed it for yourself. You feel like vindicated and, you know, validated with that, and you're able to kind of get on with your life, and there's a sense of self-empowerment that way. If you're in a business environment and something was being kept from you, maybe, you know, maybe the King of Wands is an internal feeling, isn't really what is happening on an outer level. Maybe you wanted to get a promotion and they gave it to somebody else, and you found out that there was something underhanded about that. And that feeling of, it's almost like a sense of relief, because somebody may have been denying it or what have you, and then you find out, and that releases you from obligation to have to stay somewhere that you don't want to stay, for this feeling of guilt that you were letting somebody down. You just kind of feel as if you can move on with your life. The higher message is the High Priestess. And this is a card that's actually associated sometimes with secrets and things that are being, kept quiet. Quiet as it's kept. I was thinking of that Toni Morrison book I remember I read called The Bluest Eye, and it starts out quiet as it's kept, and I thought, what the heck does that mean? But I guess that's a way of saying things. So anyway, the High Priestess is, since this is a spiritual message, maybe it's spiritual advice, or looking at it from a more spiritual perspective rather than the literal worldly perspective. It's probably asking you to be more connected to your higher self, because perhaps something, if this is like a workplace drama, you may have, gotten right in there with those other people, and say wrestling with pigs. They have that saying, and you might have just found yourself getting involved in that because perhaps you wanted that sense of power, or maybe you felt like you were losing your power. That could be it too. Somebody getting demoted, somebody being shoved aside in favor of somebody else. I mean, like I said before, human nature. People tend to cling to their job title, their whatever they have, they don't want to lose it. Their money, their job title, because they identify with it. And the High Priestess is like the higher identity that is not about the outside world. The High Priestess is also a passive card, so it's about be still and know rather than, just do it. That kind of thing. So you may feel tempted to do something because you feel like it's unfair, or that something's happening that you don't think that should be happening, and yet the High Priestess is asking you to tune into the more eternal side of life rather than the fleeting things of this world. What crosses you is the Two of Swords. This is a card of having to make a choice, being at loggerheads, being at kind of that point of like, what do I do now? And you may not know what you want to do. You may be of two minds. Sometimes, I usually think of this as the person kind of like with themselves, kind of battling a decision that they have to make. But it's possible that this could involve somebody else too. That you and somebody else cannot see eye to eye on something. And again, I feel like it could be a power not power trip, but a power clash at work, where two people want to be in control, and there can only be one boss. And again, you know, looking at the High Priestess also, I feel like I've said this before, that sometimes when you are having good experiences, let's say you have good experiences at the workplace, and then all of a sudden maybe a new manager comes in, or a new, what do they call those, district manager, or somebody who's like a higher up person, and they want to change a whole bunch of things, and all of a sudden you feel like very much opposing this individual, and things start to change in the workplace, and there's a lot more disharmony. That could be a sign that it's time to leave. And yet you may have reasons why you feel like you need to stay. Just be kind of mindful. I think that's what the High Priestess is really about too, is being aware of the subtleties. You know, when do things seem to kind of go south? And what are you willing to do about that, if anything? What is coming in? Sometimes this could be the advice. Nine of Cups, this is a card of wish fulfillment. This could be, you know, having something come true that you have been wanting. I have a feeling that for some of you, this may be almost like another job offer or opportunity at a different company, because we do have in the outcome card the the Eight of Wands, which is kind of like all of a sudden everything coming at you at once, offers. Again, Wands energy. We started with Wands, we ended with Wands. Wands also represent passion, desire, joy, okay? And this is a very important point, because we have the Nine of Cups, which represents feeling satisfied on the emotional level. And then we have this card, and so we're talking about Cups and Wands are water and fire energy. And both of these are emotional in their own way. Fire signs are more passionate about things, you know, less personal and more just passionate about ideas, about situations. And so you may have this feeling like perhaps you have been wanting to break out in some way. And that's why you got the King of Wands, because you felt a certain kind of maybe feeling like you were under somebody else's thumb. And even if it's hard, if it was hard for you to decide what to do, there may, you know, you might get an offer that you can't refuse, okay? And so it's almost like the dam bursting, but in a very good way, because the Nine of Cups, like getting that thing that you've been wanting. And it might not even be like, the Nine of Cups may have nothing to do with a job offer or anything like that. Maybe you had been wanting to, you made an offer on a house and it was in a different state or a different country even, and they accepted it, and now you're like, you have to pack your bags right away and move. And it's like, this is, you know, the end of June is the time when the sun goes into your 12th house, Leo. So typically you will find that the month before your birthday, you feel like more like the High Priestess, where you're much more subdued, much more reflecting on things. The last two cards don't really correspond with that. So it might just be that there's something that you're celebrating, that you're excited about, but maybe you still have a few loose ends to tie before you can fully move on. When you have that solar return, you have your new moon at the end of July, last day of July, to be exact. That might be a time when you're more ready to take, you know, the next step in new directions. But that there could still be some great things coming your way, even as early as the end of June. So I hope that some of these things do pan out for you. But obviously this is a general reading. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Take care. Bye.